In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You're advised that any views expressed by the hosts or their guests are not necessarily the views of Togi Entertainment or its partners.
Motherhood Incorporated proudly presents Military Mom Talk Radio live on TogiNet.com. Co-hosted by Robin Boyd and Sandra Beck, the owner of Motherhood Incorporated. Military Mom Talk Radio is here with a powerful platform for women to discuss their ideas, issues, and concerns with respect to the military lifestyle. Military Mom Talk Radio encourages you to share your experiences of being a military wife and mother. This show is dedicated to educating your family about the many resources that are available in both the public and private sector, and we'll be sharing helpful information from women all over the world. We'll cover everything military, from helping a family member cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, to navigating government programs dealing with family issues, to the struggles of deployment, along with being a working mother both in and out of the home. This is Military Mom Talk Radio, and here are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here today with Robin Boyd and Doris Rivas-Brecky on this very, very chilly California day. We're actually getting some snow and some rain. We've got snow in the higher elevations, Robin. I think it's nicer with you in New Hampshire, and I'm sure it's nicer in Texas than it is here.
We've had a mild day today, and I just think it's so fun that you've got snow and we've got a mild day.
Well, we might be getting one of these crazy winter storms. Doris, do you know, are you getting it down in San Diego?
Big time rain, big time.
Big time rain. Same thing up here. Well, you guys, we have a great show today. We are going to be welcoming the Manchester High School Central Marching Band that recently traveled from New Hampshire. That's where Manchester is, or one of the Manchesters here in the United States. They have recently traveled to Hawaii for National Pearl Harbor Day remembrance ceremonies. So we're going to welcome Abby and Tracey. And then later on in the show, we're going to talk to Suzy Manning of Sizzle. And that's Sizzle with 3 Z's. S-I-Z-Z-L. Is that right, Robin? Did I get that right?
No, Z-Z-Z-L.
Oh,
Yeah.
S-I-triple-Z. I'll be English today. 0033. Yes, and then no one will be able to write it down, just like I am when my friends call from England and leave their phone number. I have to do that like 20 times. Like 00, that's a 0 and a 0.
Yes.
Oh, so you guys, I went to my first Christmas party in my local community. I've crawled out of my cave and gone to a party.
Yay.
I dressed up, I wore lipstick, and I was pleasant. So that was a lot for me.
Wow.
Oh, Sam.
I did. I won a prize. I won this little Lumi thing. It's got all these little pegs on it, and you take yarn. It's like a craft even I can't mess up, and you just wind it. And then you take this little poker and you poke it. So I'm thinking it might be good for my stress level.
Oh, sounds
What do you
good.
think?
Sounds like a plan, my dear.
I know every other craft show we've had has been an absolute fiasco. I can't knit. I can't make jewelry. I can't paint. I can't. God, we've had so many different craft things on. I can't do any of them.
Well, it's not a matter of can't. It's a matter of finding the way you can do it for what is best for you. That's what we need to do.
Okay, but Robin, I don't like to wear ugly jewelry, and I just seem to make ugly jewelry that looks like it should compete in a macaroni necklace contest.
Oh, well, you know, we will find a way to find the best that we can get out of you, my dear.
Okay, well, you know what I can do, Robin? I can listen. I can listen to music all day long, and we've got 2 girls from that marching band.
Sandra, I am just so excited. Oh, my gosh. I have known these young women for many, many years through Girl Scouting, and I honestly, San and Doris, I have witnessed these gals having respect for others, for dedicating their time and energy to their community, and they are just the most outstanding young women in leadership qualities. And recently, They have been working very, very hard with the Manchester High School Central's marching band, and that is Manchester, New Hampshire, and they were chosen to play at the ceremonies at Pearl Harbor. This was just an amazing experience, and I want to introduce you gals to Abby Desharnais and Tracey Crain. Are you there, girls?
Yep, hi.
Yes.
Yay! You gals must be so exhausted. That's the first thing.
Yep.
All right, did you have to go to school today?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
They didn't give you the day off?
Yeah, not the most pleasurable experience of my life, that's for sure.
Oh, my
So now,
gosh.
let me ask you girls, you guys don't play like the sousaphone, the tuba, or the bass drum, do you? So that you're like completely exhausted coming back?
No.
I don't think it makes a difference.
No? But if you carry a piccolo versus like, some huge giant drum, I would think, because you guys march, is that right?
Right. I play the clarinet, so it's pretty small.
Oh, that's good. And now is that Abby
Yeah.
or Tracey that's speaking?
Abby.
And Tracey, what do you play?
I play the French horn, but for marching band, we play the mellophone, which is like it looks like a trumpet, but it sounds like a French horn. It's a little bigger than a trumpet.
Wow. Now, you both have been playing for a lot of years, even before you were at Central. Is that correct?
Right. I've been playing for 8 years.
Wow. And Tracey, what about you?
Since 4th grade, so 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. Yeah, 8 years as well.
Wow. Are you both seniors this year?
No,
Junior.
juniors.
Juniors. You gals grow up, and I'll tell you, it's hard to keep track.
Yep.
How was Central chosen for this honor? This must have just blown you away when you first heard about this.
Yeah, we found out last year. I'm pretty sure Mr. Sterling made connections and asked us for our permission to go.
Wow. Was it an application process, do you know, or was it a selection that you were part of the elite chosen one?
Well, Central has a lot of connections with the Pearl Harbor attacks. I don't know if you know our story, but 3 alumni of Central died during the bombing of Pearl Harbor, which is a lot for just a small inner-city school. So,
It is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was very significant for Central to be represented there. How many went
It
on the
was.
trip? Yeah, how many went?
133.
Wow.
Right.
Wow, that's like you're deploying troops.
Basically.
A little
Yeah,
more
really
relaxed.
Out of New Hampshire.
And how long did it take you because all of you earned your way to go there? It wasn't just that everybody was rich and famous and could just whip out their checkbooks and send you gals down there.
Right. We had to raise over $160,000
Amazing.
over the course of the year.
Did you really think that, oh my gosh, I'll never get there?
At
Towards
some
the
point,
beginning,
it
it
seemed
seemed
pretty slow.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, had either of you been to Hawaii before?
No.
What did you expect? I mean, when you heard you were going to Hawaii to play for Pearl Harbor, and we know that this year is the 70th anniversary of Pearl Harbor, and it was
Right.
Wednesday, December 7th, which is National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. When you guys thought about Hawaii, like, what did you think about?
I thought it was going to be exactly what it was.
Basically, yeah, same here. There's a lot of palm trees and beaches and stuff. But the number one thing that I was most surprised about was the influence of Japanese and altogether Asian culture over there.
Wow. Did you find that you liked the food? You must have had a lot of local dishes and whatnot. Did you like the food?
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't that different. I don't think. I didn't find it
It
that
was a lot of Japanese food.
Interesting. Yeah. Let's talk about the ceremonies themselves. Obviously, on December 7th, there must have been certainly a lot of ceremonies, but there were other tributes that you played for as well. Tracey, what were some of the other tributes that your band made?
Well, because of the 3 alumni that died during the bombing of Pearl Harbor, we went to visit the USS Arizona, Missouri, and Utah.
Oh, wow.
And Hickam Air Force Base. Because
you went to
one
Hickam.
of the three... What?
You went to Hickam.
We did, which was very cool. That was very moving because one of the Central alumni died at Hickam, another one on the Arizona, and another one on the Utah. So we went to each of those, and at each of those we played our alma mater, our fight song, a Armed Forces salute, and the Star Spangled Banner, and taps.
Wow. We also played taps at the Punch Bowl Cemetery.
Right.
Yeah.
And this was all over the course of how many days?
5.
Wow.
It was kind of like 4.5, though, because of traveling.
That's amazing when you stop and think of all that you did in such a short amount of time. That's really
the days
amazing.
were jam-packed.
Yeah. Now, what about some of the survivors? Abby, did you have a chance to meet any survivors or family members?
At the ceremony at Hickam, there were 8 survivors, the 8 survivors from Pearl Harbor attacks, and I didn't get a chance to talk to any of them. I don't know if Tracey did, but they were there. They were all presented with wreaths and flags that were flown on the flagpole at Hickam. It was amazing.
And the operative word being the 8 remaining survivors. Isn't that chilling? Wow.
Well, I think about it, Rob, they're got to be in their 90s now. If they were in their, even if they were 70 years ago, they'd be 90.
That's it.
The oldest one was 97.
Wow. Girls, I'm wondering if can you both hang on just for a little bit longer? We are going to go for a commercial break. And when we come back, if we have just a few more minutes with you, we have a few more questions because this is just such an amazing trip. Central High School, I have to throw in a little history too myself. Central High School is the oldest public school in New Hampshire. It dates back to 1846. So that's an awful lot of Central pride.
Right.
And today, currently, I believe the student body is just over 2,400 students, and they are right in the heart of downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. So when we come back, we'll have a few more words to say to Tracey and Abby, and then beyond that, we'll get a chance to chat a lot more with Suzy Manning, a wonderful gal who talk about empowerment. She's just going to rev you up. We'll be back with more right after these messages on Military Mom Talk Radio.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Multi-Ethnic Church with Mark DeMoss, Thursday afternoons at 1 noon Central, is a show that passionately addresses the question, if the kingdom of heaven is not segregated, then why on earth is your local church?
They call us diverse, but colorful good. It's like a freak show in your neighborhood.
Yes, increasingly, our diverse population and the diverse families it's producing is reshaping the face of the local church as people are beginning to recognize the power and beauty of walking, working, and worshiping God together with others of different backgrounds. How can your church overcome the obstacles, and why should you even try? Join a live chat with guests from around the country and the world to learn the effectiveness of churches in the 21st century beyond race and class distinction. This show has its pulse on what it will take for the church to find real reconciliation in our generation. So tune in for the Multi-Ethnic Church with Mark DeMoss, Thursday afternoons at 1 noon Central, here on TogiNet.com. Mark Lipinski is coming to TogiNet. It's Creative Mojo with Mark Lipinski, a live 2-hour show Wednesday afternoon starting at 3, 2 Central on TogiNet.com. Creative Mojo. It's fun, entertaining, informative, inspirational, and illuminating. Lipinski has worked on such shows as Oprah, The View, The Joan Rivers Show, and Ricky Lake. He's busy, but he's got the drive to share with Creative Mojo, dedicated to the modern crafter and crafting lifestyle. Dive into the info and enjoy everything from celebs to entertainment news to recipes, quilting and needlework, knitting, painting, woodworking, Christmas crafts, and so much more. This show boldly encourages you to discover and harness your own creative spirit by living creatively every day. For more on Mark and the show, check out marklipinski.com. Don't miss the fun. It's Creative Mojo with Mark Lipinski. Wednesday afternoon starting at 3, 2 Central on TogiNet.com.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd and Doris Rivas-Brecky, and our guests today are two lovely girls from Abby and Tracey from the Manchester High School Central Marching Band that recently traveled to Pearl Harbor. As we know, last Wednesday was National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, and one of the things that these girls did while they were there was to go out to the Arizona Memorial, and I don't know if our listeners have been there. I have been there. And it's like a boat that's sunk in the ground, and then the memorial straddles it. You know, you're out in the water, and you can see the oil seeping. To this day, you can see it from the ship's bunkers. It's a really, really unique experience. Anybody who's stationed in Hawaii, I'm sure, has gone to see it. But those who are thinking of going out there, it's definitely well worth the trip. And I want to ask Abby and Tracey, what did you guys think about when you went out to the Arizona? What was that like?
It was, maybe Abby.
It was
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, for me, it was really moving, both the Arizona and the Utah. I think the Utah was a little bit maybe more moving and chilling to the whole ship. The Arizona is like almost completely submerged underwater, and you can see the oil coming up, and it was really moving experience.
You know, we're having some technical difficulties, Robin. Did you hear what she had to say? I couldn't make it out. Could you, if you did, could you translate it?
I'm pretty sure she was saying that it was very, very moving. What about you, Tracey? I'm sure your feelings are very much like Abby. Abby might be going into a dead zone or something. Tracey?
Yes.
And what about you? What were your feelings as you walked out there?
Well, one of the most moving parts of it, I think, was in the back of the memorial. Once you get off the ship, it has all the names of all the people that died on the Arizona. And one of the things we got to do was we got to look at that and see the name of the Central graduate that was killed on the Arizona. And it's still entombed there.
That's chilling, isn't it?
It is, but it was amazing. Really cool. It was a really cool experience.
Now, had you known a lot about Pearl Harbor before this whole trip came up? Obviously, your generation is just that much further away from knowing people. How much did you know about Pearl Harbor in the beginning of World War II?
Not much. I learned a lot during the course of the past year because our band director would tell us more and more about it every time we would talk about it. And so, especially when you have like the connection with some of the soldiers that were there, that they went to your same high school, you really get to understand it more. And then being there, it was like, okay, now I really understand. It was definitely an experience.
That's Mr. Stilling did so much research for us, and he discovered so much more than we would know from school.
I think that's incredible, the way Mr. Sterling extended this whole trip. It wasn't just a trip. It wasn't just going to play this music. It was really being a part of history. And I know every parent and every person affiliated with Central High School is very, very grateful to Mr. Sterling and all of the people who made this trip possible. On Facebook, I have got to tell you, girls, one person posted, and it was said so beautifully. The Central High School Marching Band continued to conduct themselves with dignity, respect, and pride while in Oahu. They individually and collectively have represented their high school, their city, and their state with the utmost professionalism and class. I'm telling you, we were so impressed and so proud with all what you girls did and your whole band. Just absolutely incredible.
Well, thank you.
Sandra,
Our big thing was we were representing New Hampshire pretty much.
Well, you're representing all of us, Abby and
Exactly.
Tracey. And the other thing, too, girls, which is so amazing, and we learned this, Rob, with the iHistory project that we're a part of. You know, our veterans from World War II are dying at a rate of 100 per day. And for you guys to fly out there to raise money, to get yourselves to this event that happened many, many generations ago for you guys. You represent all of us in not forgetting our fallen soldiers and sailors and airmen.
Absolutely. I know this is only one of the many more remarkable things you both will be doing in your lives. Each of you are just so talented, empowering, and I know you're going to succeed exponentially in anything that you set your hearts and minds to do, because I know you and I love you. And I just want to say thank you so much to both of you for being here. Absolutely thrilling, and I can't wait to see more pictures and hear more stories.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, girls, so much. We're going to chat a little bit with Doris, and then we've got to say hello to Suzy Manning. So thanks, girls.
Thank you so much.
Robin, that was amazing. You know, you think of these young girls, just 16, 17 years old, you know, that get to fly out and not only witness some things from history, but be a part of our current history. I think it's something they'll never forget.
Oh, my goodness. And I can just tell you that these girls are two of the most amazing people I've ever met. I'm just so proud to know them and so delighted to have shared them with all of our listeners. They're just remarkable young girls. Super, super remarkable.
Amazing.
Well, Doris, how have you been this week? Have you got some news we could use?
I do have some. I know we're running out of time, so just real quick, I don't know, and this is a follow-up to the Pearl Harbor story we were just talking about. Mm-hmm. I heard on this particular anniversary, the survivors used to be a formal group. Well, because of the 70-year anniversary, they officially disbanded this time because there's so few of them left. I think, Sandra, you said 8. So
there were 8 survivors. Yeah,
they officially disbanded this past December 7th, and so they're no longer a group anymore. I guess because they may not make the next one. So anyway, and real quick, because I know we're going to break, for our military moms who are ETSing soon and maybe looking for a new job and a place to live, the internet just posted the 10 worst cities to look for a job. And I've got 5 of them here. Coming in at number 5 is Detroit, Michigan. Number 4, Las Vegas. Number 3, Riverside, California. Number 2, Los Angeles. And worst city to look for a job, Miami, Florida. And if
I
you
was
want
waiting
more
for you to say Manchester, New Hampshire.
No, I didn't say Manchester. No. Miami,
well, the funniest
Florida.
thing, Doris, and you wouldn't know this, obviously, because you weren't on the shows with us. But Robin, you'll remember this. Do you remember on our sister show, Motherhood Talk Radio, when we did the fattest cities in the United States? 3 of them are on there. It's like, God, it's the worst place to live, and it's the fattest place to live. So stay away.
It's the hardest place to get a job. So yep, there.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Anyway, and if people want to find out the other cities, go to military.com.
That's so great. We love military.com. We're big supporters of military.com, Military Connection. There's so many great resources out there. And, Robin, when you heard the girls on the air today talking about their experience in Pearl Harbor, what did you think about? Because, you've known these girls since they were little. You're a big mucky muck, with the Girl Scouts. And, obviously your husband is a Vietnam veteran. I mean, this stuff's near and dear to your heart. Mine too. My ex-father-in-law flew a P-38 in World War II. My father served in the Navy. I mean, you look at this stuff and you just go, how amazing that they're not forgotten in the next generation.
Absolutely. And I think it is harder to imagine that there was a time in America where soldiers weren't welcomed back, that they weren't embraced. And I am just so glad that we now have changed that in our society, that we have this new understanding, I guess you could say. We may not agree with a political action, but we can certainly agree that people who are out there defending our country certainly deserve our respect and our support. And I think what's also remarkable is bringing history to the kids. It's more interactive, experiential. Those are the things that make us be more proactive and more willing to do things differently in the future, is to have that ability to have gone through someone's life in history. So I really commend this particular teacher, this wonderful music teacher, but also any teacher who isn't just opening up a history book and saying, this is the facts, this is what happened. We're talking understanding what happened, feeling what happened. That to me is just so important, San.
Yeah, well, and being present. I can tell you, the first time I went to Europe, I was raised in a household where all we watched was World War II footage. And I was shocked that, the entire European community was in color, because it was just black and white pictures. And all of a sudden it became real. And I saw bunkers and I saw Auschwitz and I saw these places. You can't ever go back to where you were prior to that experience, because history becomes alive, and in a way that no book, movie, or poem or anything can ever emulate.
Absolutely. I'm just thrilled, and I was so glad that these kids had this opportunity. It just absolutely incredible. We've got a couple minutes before we're scooting off to another break, and on the other side of the break, we've got Suzy Manning, and we are going to sizzle. Make sure you all stay tuned. This is Military Mom Talk Radio.
You did it!
I did it! We'll be back after the break. We'll get it right.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Is there more living for you to do? Yes. Start living inspired. Be here for Living Inspired with Tricia Goyer, Thursday afternoons at 4, 3 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Tricia will dig deep into topics that matter most to women, inspiring women to make a change in their own lives and to make a difference in the world, and maybe even deep within their own hearts. Tricia is a wife, mom, speaker, family expert, and author of 24 books. For more information on Tricia and Living Inspired, go to her website, TriciaGoyer.com. That's TriciaGoyer.com. Tricia's vision is to be the voice of hope and possibility for women of all ages. Her intention is to serve ordinary women by encouraging extraordinary things with God's help. Tricia expresses real life, real hope for real women. Is there more living for you to do? Yes. Start living inspired. Living Inspired with Tricia Goyer. Thursday afternoons at 4, 3 p.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Homeschooling? Have questions? Get your pen and paper ready. It's the sociable homeschooler, Vivian McNinney. Fridays at 5, 4 Central on TogiNet.com. After a handsome blue-eyed Texan fell in love with Vivian at the Victoria Station in London, she found herself at DFW Airport with a tiny suitcase and a snazzy little duffel bag. Well, 25 years later, she is now happily married to that blue-eyed cowboy. They have 4 grown children ages 24 to 18 who became willing guinea pigs when she unwittingly stumbled upon the world of homeschooling. Wildflower Academy flourished for 15 years. They survived and thrived, and you can too. Vivian will be covering a wide range of issues that face homeschoolers. What you do with kids in the summer, how to set up your one-room schoolhouse, how obedience is paramount, and what to do with those snakes. Plus, you'll be sharing ideas and insights that she gleaned from other homeschoolers. So join us for an engaging hour with the sociable homeschooler, Vivian McNinney, Friday afternoons at 5, 4 Central on TogiNet.com.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Doris Rivas-Brecky, the author of News You Can Use, and Robin Boyd, who I laughed at unmercifully for blowing the outro, because I do that. For those of you that are regular listeners, you know I get confused as to which show I'm on. But that did not happen to me. That happened to Robin.
I know. So we will say welcome. Everybody's welcome to join us on Motherhood Talk Radio Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, and for those of you who missed the earlier show today, we welcomed Abby and Tracey of the Manchester High School Central Marching Band that recently traveled to Pearl Harbor in Hawaii for National Pearl Harbor Day. And we're going to switch gears a little bit. I'm going to ask you guys to go to iTunes and check out both our shows, Military Mom Talk Radio and Motherhood Talk Radio. You can also head to our websites, militarymomtalkradio.com and motherhoodtalkradio.com, and download this episode along with past episodes that deal with PTSD. They deal with, everything from crafting to childcare to you name it. We've covered it on these shows. But right now we're going to switch gears, and we're going to welcome Suzy Manning of Sizzle. And Robin, you have such a lovely way to say it, SIZZL.com.
There, you did it. Hi, Suzy.
Hi, Sandra and Robin. You two are sizzling.
We get there sometimes. Oh, it's
Bet
great.
you've never had anybody on with the topic of sizzle.
I know. It's like, went from talk radio to blooper radio to wrong show talk radio, but we're going to get it together because, Suzy, you are an amazing, amazing woman. And you got to tell us, how'd you get the name Sizzle?
How did I get the name Sizzle? I mean, I'm very sensory. And I mean, when you say sizzle, I mean, you can just feel it. You can sense it. And what I love about it, to me, it represents the divine spark that's within each of us. It's a contagious energy, and it impacts anybody and everybody you come in contact with. And it's actually the catalyst energy for our life, and it's the very essence of who we are. So my purpose and passion is to help women connect with that spark within them and to light it into a huge, huge, huge bonfire so the world cannot extinguish it, because as we know, life happens, things happen, and the world will try to extinguish it. So it's helping women own their brilliance and their magnificence and their sensuality and their wisdom and their leadership, and to step out there being so solid in knowing inward. All my work is with inner, to know inside of them who they are, why they're here, that nobody's going to take them out.
Well, no, okay, that's a huge mouthful.
Okay.
I don't even know. I'm sure I have Sizzle somewhere. I know Robin and Doris have it. Where do you even start with something like that, Suzy? Where do we begin? When you say Sizzle, I think of the steak I had last night. It's going to be a long inner journey for me to catch up with you.
Okay. what it is finding out. It's your passion, your purpose. What are you passionate about? We have all come to the planet for a reason. If we're alive on the planet today, we have a purpose, and we haven't fulfilled it yet because we're still here. So it's living every day with passion and purpose as opposed to just living an empty life, going through the motions. So it's helping people connect with what is it that you cannot not do. What is it that you lose all track of time in when you are doing it? What is it that you have an emotional connection to? Not breakdown crying emotion, but something that just really moves your heart, that you want to make a difference on the planet. So when you connect with that, and it energizes you, you know you've connected with your purpose when you have more energy at the end of the day than the beginning of the day. Because if you're doing what you love, it will energize you. And it's usually it's of giving back, of service. We move to a point in our life where it's not about us anymore, about what's in it for me. We move into the space that we realize we're here to impact others' lives, just like you're doing. I mean, this may very well be your purpose and passion.
See, that's the hard thing, Suzy, because, and Robin's children are grown. Doris doesn't have any two-legged children. And then I have small children. And most of the times, and I'm sure this is like a lot of our military moms out there, because poor Robin and Doris have to hear me, cry and moan that I miss the commander, that I'm seeing, all this stuff. I'm so busy trying to get through my day, take care of my kids. I have no partner that's local that can help me with this stuff. How on earth am I supposed to find sizzle when I'm trying to get breakfast on the table? Where do we even begin in that scenario? Because that, I think, Rob and Doris, don't you agree, affect most our military moms listening today. We're more in survival mode than sizzle mode.
Yeah. Okay, but you can switch into sizzle mode. And what I heard with the girls that you interviewed before you, I mean, they are leaders, and that's what it's helping women step into leadership that you're doing, that a lot of these women are doing. And women at home, your military moms. I mean, if they are at home and their husband's deployed, they have stepped into leadership running their home. So it's helping women also realize that you are a leader. You have these skills to be decisive, to make decisions for your family. And so it's not only leadership out in the world, it's leadership in your home or in your community. And it's realizing that, yes, we have that ability and that power. And to find your sizzle or what's special, we need to make that time. And maybe it's 5 minutes in the morning. Maybe you get up 5 minutes earlier and you take a few minutes to just sit still, to slow down, slow your mind down, slow your body down. We're in such a race to do and do and do and to get things done, and we need to slow down a little bit to just be. And so take a few minutes in the morning to go out for a walk in nature, to just sit and be still. And people, like you're saying, I know, I mean, the people are in survival mode and they got tons of things to do. And they say, well, I don't have this time. I don't have the time. And that's when you need to make the time, because this is really interesting. Try it and see. When you make that time to sit down just for you, to be still, you actually have more time in your day, and you will actually get more done because you'll be more decisive, you'll be more focused, you'll be more clear on what you need to do as opposed to just running to do this, that, and everything else. Things will become clearer, and you'll be more focused on what it is you really want to do. And then what you're
Suzy,
saying about...
I think what you said was so important because, when I thought of sizzle, I think of all these people out doing these big, big, amazing things. And when I look at just getting through my day, which is, it's enough for me, that's part of my sizzle. I love my kids. I love being a mom. I love, I make this horrible green juice that I make them drink with kale and, cucumber ground up and, but that's that lights me up. And I want to clarify for our listeners today that we're not expecting everybody to go out and change the world. You can sizzle in your own household.
Well, we change the world. We change the world one person at a time. I can't change the world. I can only change me. So when you
in your own world, and this is just I'm just so excited to hear all that you're saying, Suzy, because to sort of step back and talk about the girls a little bit, I am very involved with Girl Scouting, and one of the things that our program brings to girls is to have that inner self-confidence, to have that ability to feel strong within themselves, to be their best, not the best, but their best. And I think this is what I'm hearing you saying, Suzy, is that we are here and we have an ability to do things, that we have a confidence, we have an empowerment. And it may not mean that, yes, that day we're going to conquer the world, but that day we can sit back and say, wow, I've got a really gross day ahead of me. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Sit back, take a breath, know that you have the confidence to conquer it, and take care of what you've got in front of you for your plate.
Very true. You hit it right on. Yeah, sizzle does not mean that you're out on the world stage and millions of people know you. It's like I said, it can be you're stepping into whatever leadership looks like for you. Can be, like we said, right in your family. And it's doing what it is that you need to do for that day. And like you said, reaching deep down within you. It's that power within us to realize, yes, take a deep breath. I can do this. I can do it the best of my ability. It does not have to be perfect, but this is what I am going to work through today, that life is a journey. And yes, I have the power, the ability, the gifts, the creativity, and the leadership skills to do this. I can lead myself. It's not even about leading others. Can we lead ourselves?
I guess that's the thing, that I'm always like, it's so great that I have Doris and Robin, on the air with me, because we really share three different military perspectives, Suzy. Doris is prior military, and, we come like from three different demographics. And when we hear these shows about empowerment and growth, it's like, Robin, you always get it. Doris, you seem to assimilate it. And then I'm over here struggling, going, but wait, I don't understand. Slow down.
But that's a good thing. We need that devil's advocate sometimes too,
Well, great. It's great to have three different viewpoints.
It is, because we're all different.
Mm-hmm. And that's the way the world is. We are all different. So,
Robin's going to take us to commercial break in a couple minutes, Suzy. What advice do you have before we go to break? And you got to make it quick. You got like 15 seconds. For our military moms who are like me that are struggling, you said take a walk in the morning. You got anything even shorter than that that'll work?
Do I have anything shorter than that? What about a 5-minute walk? It doesn't have to be a 15-minute walk or a half an hour walk. Can you go out and walk around the block?
Can I sit in my kitchen with a cup of tea and look out the window?
You can, but guess what? There's something wonderful about going out in nature and connecting with nature that really grounds you and refocuses you, and actually will mirror back to you the magnificent being you are. There's just something about being out in nature that refreshes you and re-energizes you and gives you a whole new perspective on life. If you can't do that, sit with a cup of tea and look outside.
We've got lots more sizzle coming up. That's www.sizzl.com. We're here with Suzy Manning, and we're going to find out lots more after the break when we come back on Military Mom Talk Radio.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Why do I feel so lousy? Why aren't my medications working? Why can't my doctor figure me out? These are just a few of the questions Dr. Kevin Connors will be exploring in Dr. Kevin Connors Live on TogiNet.com. The author of the book, Help My Body Is Killing Me, solving the connections of autoimmune disease to thyroid problems, fibromyalgia, depression, ADD, ADHD, and more. He'll dig into these and many other conditions to dissect the mechanisms of your problems, giving God the glory and looking for answers to make you look and feel better, to make you feel whole again. For more on him, his book, and the show, check out UpperRoomWellness.com. Never be satisfied with a diagnosis. There is always a reason behind it. And if you can alter the mechanisms that led you down your current path, we can change your future. It's Dr. Kevin Connors, live here on TogiNet.com.
The Mary Beth Wells Hour is a talk radio show where we reach out, reach deep, and talk about topics of substance. We'll cover points of interest, such as World War II and the Holocaust, the Vietnam War, the planets and the oceans, skydiving, rock climbing, and much, much more. Join me every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as we delve into and discuss fascinating subjects. It's a program to pique your interest for sure.
We'll put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and a statue of liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hi, Military Moms. This is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with my outstanding co-host, Robin Boyd, and our lovely News You Can Use Minute expert, Doris Rivas-Brecky. We had the Manchester High School Central Marching Band on with us earlier today. You don't want to miss that. If you did, check us out on iTunes with Abby and Tracey talking about going to the Arizona. And we have Suzy Manning of Sizzle, and that's SI3ZL.com. And she's just so cool, and she's going to make me, I know it, Robin, she's going to make me go outside. I'm going to have to get out of my black box. I might have to touch a plant, which, you know, is going to make Doris really happy.
Yes, it will.
But you know, it's true. In our very hectic, you know, our military moms are so busy. A lot of us are single moms with a married spouse somewhere in the world, but they're not a big help when it comes to diapering, picking up things, cleaning up, you know, when they're deployed. And that's really difficult. And it's a mindset change, I think, girls, to say I have, because when Suzy said take 5 minutes in the morning and go for the walk, I almost fell off the chair. I was like, I had 5 minutes to go for a walk in the morning. But then I thought about it, and it's like, no, it's my mind that's keeping me grounded and thinking I don't have that 5 minutes. I mean, there's days, girls, I don't go out and see the sunshine until I pick up my kids from school.
I think sometimes it is hard for us to discipline ourselves to make that time for us. And isn't that true of motherhood, period? We don't always take the time for us first. And if we would enrich ourselves, and here I am, the biggest one that's guilty of it, I'll do for everybody before me. But you have to find the way to say, okay, I need to refresh, because if I don't refresh, the rest of the household or the rest of whatever's in my life isn't going to be refreshed. I have to say, Suzy,
go ahead.
I love the word sizzle because it's one of those onomatopoeia words, you know. It sounds like it is. You know, it makes me feel like I want to get going.
Well, and you know what, Rob? The only time I'm ever reminded of that, like as moms, we got to take care of ourselves first, is like when I'm on the airplane and the flight attendants are like, put your air mask on first before you help the children. And I go, oh my God, that's right. I'm supposed to be doing that on a daily basis. And, you know, Suzy, you said you have to go outside. Like, you know, not have to, but go outside. Why? I mean, do I have to see the sun? Does the sun need to see me? What do we get from that?
We're going to get you outside, yes. But it's a change of energy. When we're in brick and mortar all day, it's just not the same energy as being out in nature. That's birthing. You've got the plants that are growing and birthing, and the trees, and you've got the seasons and the cycles of life, and the earth actually vibrates their frequency for our healthy self. It's why you feel good when you get outside. It's a whole different energy. And Now, I want to address the piece because you're talking about mothers being so busy, and we are as mothers, and we're so nurturing, which is a fabulous quality of ours. But the piece that we often forget that you're talking about, and you can go out in nature to nurture you, but we need to nurture ourselves first. And what we end up doing is we take care of everyone else first and ourselves last, if at all. And if you imagine a glass of water and it's full, and you get up in the morning and you're up getting kids dressed and you're getting kids breakfast. Every time you're doing this is energy going out, so you're emptying that water. Then you probably have to feed the dogs or take the dogs for a walk. And then if you have a business, you have to connect with your business, and that's more water going out of the glass. And then you may have to grocery shop and cook meals and pay bills and attend to your business and maybe take care of parents. And you see everything you do during the day, and you've emptied that glass. And that's just like your body. And when we do that, that's when we get fatigued and tired, then we get ill, then we get sick, then we get disease. And we have to keep filling that glass back up with water, filling us up. So it's the things that you need to do to nurture you to be well, to take care of your family, to be there for them. And it can be, like we said, simple. It's a mindset, Sandra, to walk outside for 5 minutes and just breathe. Oh, my God, the sun feels so good. It just re-energizes you. To go sit, I mean, if you don't even want to walk outside, you're going to go, oh, my God, this lady is crazy. But go sit with a tree. I mean, it's amazing the energy you receive from out in nature, sitting with a tree or looking at a plant, and what is it teaching you? I mean, when you look at nature, nature is actually mirroring back to us our magnificence and our beauty and everything about us. I mean, I've gone and sat with a tree, and I've looked at the branches, and I've thought, oh, my God. I mean, there were branches that were going sideways, and then a branch went straight up, and I'm thinking what it told me was I've been living my life in a plateau going sideways. I need to shoot my life up, to sizzle it. Or you look at the trees and watch the leaves and how they flow with the weather. Do we flow with the weather? Do we flow with what happens in our life? I mean, there's all kinds of lessons we can learn from nature, and you just feel good to get outside. We need that shift in energy. We need the shift in environment.
And I think it's true. It just gives you that new perspective. You could be sitting and dwelling on something because you've been sitting in that same environment, and just changing your environment and going into a different atmosphere is going to all of a sudden shift your perspective and give you that what you need to proceed on. So
it triggers creativity. I mean, I get more ideas when I'm out walking or moving around. If I sit here at my desk, I go, oh, my God, I have to dream this in, I have to create this, I have to come up with something, and I drive myself nuts. If I get up from my desk, move, go outside or go somewhere, it's like, oh, yeah, you could do this, and this. It's like, well, why didn't I move sooner? And another great way is to dance. I mean, just move.
I have to say, I don't have a
Wii,
but I don't have a Wii, but I see so many people using a Wii, and I think, isn't that wonderful to just get up and dance and get up and move, and whether you're just moving to music or just moving, or you need the instruction from something like a Wii or whatever, isn't that true, to just get up and move?
Well, energy creates energy. So the more you're moving, the more energy that's created, and then the more creative you're going to be, and the more ideas you're going to come up with, and you're just going to feel better physically, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I mean, movement, if I just posted something on my website or on Facebook the other day, it said if you feel sad, dance. I mean, women have used song and dance for years to get through challenging times and sadness. It just shifts the energy in the body. All of a sudden you feel alive, and you're moving, and you're creating, and you forget about what you've been dwelling on.
Suzy, you have a term, feminine visionary leadership. What is your definition of feminine visionary leadership?
Okay, well, I came up with that name because I have a group on LinkedIn, a Feminine Visionary Leadership Group for women. And it is women that want to live life to the fullest. No excuses, to live life full out and as a feminine visionary leader, what we do, we see co-creation and collaboration. It's why, if you're aware of the shift happening on the planet today, I mean, there's this huge energy right now on the planet that I'm sure you're feeling, and things are moving so quickly. And what we're doing, we're moving from a competitive environment to one of co-creation and collaboration, and that becomes very natural for women. Women empower as opposed to power over. We lead in a web as opposed to hierarchical, having someone at the top and top-down leadership. We empower others around us. We are not afraid of competition. I mean, I could give somebody else my program, and nobody's going to do it like me because I'm unique. It's getting over that competitive thing, and it's women looking at co-creating and collaborating together and empowering others. We understand relationships. Women usually will pick relationships over the rules, and relationships are what's going to build a successful business. It's going to be in a discussion over whatever for peace, negotiations. I mean, it's about relationships, and we understand this web of life and this that we're all connected. I mean, we can understand what happens to one of us happens to someone else. We see how we're all connected to everyone else in the world. And this is feminine visionary leadership. I mean, we're stepping up to lead with men, and to it's nothing about overtaking men, but stepping up and lead with men to create a relational consciousness on the planet. What we have has not been working.
I love that illustration, that visual of a web, a spider web, if you will, because a spider web is built from one strand to the other, and it's a fabric almost. You need the connection in order for the web to hold strong. And even if a little portion of it might have a little hole in it, it's going to still stay strong because of the network that it's created. It's beautiful. We've only got a couple more minutes before the end, Suzy, and I want to just mention your book, Wise Women, Circle of Wisdom. This was inspired by what for you? By women, I'm sure, but...
It was... I had written articles for magazines, and all of a sudden I started pulling out certain sentences I liked and certain quotes I liked. And then all of a sudden one day I looked at it, and it's like, an aha moment. It's like, I have a book here. So I put it together. What it is, you open this book, you open it anywhere. It's not a front-to-back book. You open it anywhere, and on the left-hand side of the page is a Wise Women quote. And on the mirror side of the page is a fun, simple action to take to make that wisdom part of your life.
Oh, how beautiful.
So it's one of these little books that you can pick up, and, you know, we have those days where we beat ourselves up and we're so hard on ourselves, and it's a book that you can pick up and open up, and it's inspirational quotes and actions to help you, again, get grounded and realize the magnificent being you are, and to get through your day and get through your life.
Oh,
so again,
beautiful.
It's helping women realize how powerful and beautiful and wise we are, and what we are capable of doing and creating on the planet.
I think we should all be armed with this as our handbook, a universal woman's handbook, because it certainly sounds like that's what it is. Suzy Manning, this has been an awesome opportunity to have shared this time with you. We can find your book at your website. Is that correct?
You can find the book on my website, yes, and there's a brand new one I was just a co-author of, too, Smart Women Live Their Why, which is a great book for business women. It's a great book. Like 57 authors in it, entrepreneurs from around the world.
We want to make sure everybody goes and checks it out, and that's at sizzl.com. Doris, it's been a great hour, hasn't it?
Yes, Robin. Great to hear your voice, too. Thank you, Suzy.
You too, dear.
Nice meeting all of you. Thank you. It's an honor to be on your show. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. We'll be all back next week, actually with an encore. We're going to get into the holidays in the next couple of weeks, so we look forward to everyone having a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and we will talk to you very, very soon on Military Mom Talk Radio.